After an historic return to the mountain to kick off their series, the gladiators of Australian motorsport returned to the Shannons Nationals. Round 2 of the 2008 Ironfarmers HQ Series is set to explode at the South Australian circuit, featuring a bumper field of over 30 cars and a host of familiar faces. 2007 champion Gary Bonwick was looking to be an early season favourite as he returned to defend his title, but the lure of driving a HQ around Bathurst was too much for V8 supercar driver Paul Morris to pass up. The dude utilised his knowledge of the mountain to take first round honours and enjoyed himself so much that he's returned in round 2.
I suppose it's really just getting back to basics. When you drive around by yourself, it's pretty boring, but once you get a few guys around you, it's just as much fun as racing in a V8 supercar. So it's the thrill of the race, really.
Whilst Morris is looking for a bit of fun behind the wheel, for the rest of the HQ regulars, it's been business as usual as they prepare to tackle Mallala.
Yeah, look, it's been a fairly hectic preparation for this weekend. Exciting to come to Mallala again. We've been running okay and competitively, so hopefully this weekend the Skylift Hire and Rentals HQ will do a great job.
Went pretty well, actually. We qualified third. We've been in the top 4 in every session, so we'll have to see if the weather stays dry or wet, but third's pretty good. First out-of-stater from Victoria, 2 South Australians in front of us. So hopefully the Trick Trailers HQs is going to perform a little bit better and we can knock the locals off.
Well, actually it turned to garbage on Friday. We come here and did 3 laps and exploded a clutch. So then I had to drive to Adelaide and get a clutch for it and got it going for the last session last night, and all's well, but our qualifying went well. We've stuck it on the front row next to Neil Corey, so I'm pretty happy about that.
This year, the HQs welcome Ironfarmers as their major sponsor, thanks mainly to former driver Ian Mundell. And when Ian was looking to put a credible driver behind the wheel of the Ironfarmers HQ, who better than reigning champion Gary Bonwick?
Well, my car, I've got the engine out of it, and it's in my nephew's car up in Queensland. He's been running very strong, so at the last minute I was talking to Ian, and Ian elected to not drive and put me in it to drive it. So up to Bathurst, I ended up highest point scorer. Paul Morris just behind me, so I didn't think I'd be here, but here I am, so we'll have another go.
Combining Bonwick with the Ironfarmers car has already proven successful, and that will no doubt flourish throughout the year, and quite possibly grant Gary with another title, a fitting reward for someone that has been around the HQ scene for quite some time.
I've been in it for 12 years, 13 years now. My mum and dad, they're 70 now. They towed the car down from Queensland, so we got the car here, and Ian and I flew down Thursday night.
We're at Mallala Motorsport Park, where anything can happen. Stay tuned, more HQ racing coming up on the other side of this.
Time now for a look at highlights of race number 3 here at Mallala. The Ironfarmers HQ Racing Association National Challenge. Enormous field. The guys in the back mark starting in Gawler.
They are starting right round into the final chicane in a big field. Everyone got through turn 1 pretty cleanly, which for a HQ race at Mallala, Wade, as you well know, is quite a remarkable feat.
Particularly when it's very damp as well. The battle raged between Porteous, Corey and Bonwick basically in the Ironfarmers parts and equipment car for the entire race. It was really a scrap between the top 3.
Yeah, and what it was turning out to be was the South Australians versus the rest. The local knowledge for Gavin Porteous and Neil Corey really paying off, and Gary Bonwick in the Queensland car was the best of the interstate visitors in this national challenge round.
Yeah, fantastic series, a great number of cars. The win in race number 3 for the weekend went to Gavin Porteous. Neil Corey chased him across the line with Bonwick there in 3rd. Matty Jones was across the line in 4th. Darryl Crouch, Kevin Stoopman, Stephen White and Graham Bolter. They basically made up the top 8 in what was a frenetic race 3 here for the weekend thanks to Ironfarmers.
Yeah, actually we had 2 half-hour races here last night, which we won the first leg, and leading the second leg with a lap to go, and the alternator cacked itself, and we didn't finish it at all. So I was pretty determined this morning to make amends for it.
I had pole yesterday, which I was really happy with, and Gavin got me. I came second. We had a race last night in the dark, but my lights went out on me, so that put me out of that race. And today, so second, come second again, so I'm really pleased.
Yeah, we're really happy to be so far up, having never been here before, so weather's a bit like at home, very cold and raining, so, but no, we're having a ball so far.
Time now for the main race, folks. The Ironfarmers HQ Racing Association National Challenge. This is race 4 for the weekend. They actually had a night race here at Mallala, which is something very different. Kevin Stoopman, certainly one of the guys to watch for. Dean Nicolo, Daryl Crouch, Stephen White, Mark Buckwell out there. Paul Morris, there's a name for you. He's certainly on the pace. The V8 Supercar driver who's not too scared to try something different. An enormous field here at Mallala as we get set to go racing. Richard Crail joins me in commentary. What a start from Bonwick, the man who won the first round of the championship.
Yeah, and he'll lead them down into turn 1, though it will be a close run thing. You mentioned Paul Morris, the big Sirame motorhome in the paddock here. Not the kind of thing you usually associate with the HQ championship round, but great to see nonetheless. And the dude coming through the field after a tough start to his weekend.
Look at this field. Don't tell me HQ Racing isn't alive and well. This is a massive lineup. Bonwick leads them in. He, of course, is the major sponsor. His sponsor is the major supporter of the championship. So a big g'day to Ironfarmers Parts and Equipment. Guys working their way out of that turn. Everybody managed to get through pretty well. Stoopman, of course, one of the real guns of this series.
Certainly is. Blue skies over Mallala Raceway at the moment. Fortunate because this morning there was rain on Saturday, rain on Friday. So it's great that these guys have got a chance to race in dry conditions. There's car 12, Kevin Stoopman, the Victorian, running the National Series and having a pretty good run of it too. And he's taking the lead too. Switchback move coming out of the northern hairpin and takes the position away. Good move.
Well over 30 cars in the field here as we see Stoopman driving away at the moment from Bonwick in that second place. The battle for fourth is a beauty. Up the inside we come. You wouldn't think there'd be that many HQ parts left in Australia, but they all seem to be able to find them.
Well, they do, and the size of the field here is testament to that. White going side by side now with a 54 car of Nicolo, South Australian competitor running in the local series. In fact, the South Australian series way gets very good numbers, 20 plus cars for the state championship. So that's why the series as a whole is very strong and why the South Australians are very strong in it.
Mate, the South Australian circuit racing scene is alive and well in many aspects, and it's got a lot to do with Mallala itself. The guy's running very wide there. Look at this enormous field. Stoopman under some enormous pressure. Bonwick, the big weave.
Yeah, Stoopman can just drive down the middle of the racetrack, can't he? And Bonwick needs to find a long way past.
Stepping out, the trick trailers gets a sick sideways action coming out of the turn.
It proves you don't need a lot of horsepower to get race cars sideways, doesn't it?
Daryl Crouch, the Sleep Haven Tonsley crash entry, doing a nice job. Bart Stanfield, Gavin Porteous, Dallas Crane, Michael Pratt and Andrew Schultz, the next one through. Here comes the move from Bonwick up the inside.
And it's a nicely judged move too. Goes to the inside at the heaviest braking point of the racetrack. They slow these cars down right through the gears, very hard under brakes into the northern hairpin. And that was a pretty textbook move, though. We may well see a change of position side by side down towards turn 7.
You know, the actual winner from round 1 was Paul Morris, but the actual series leader is Gary Bonwick. It's a little bit confusing, but somehow the round winner can be different to the points leader, the way the whole point system works out on this one. So Paul Morris taking no time at all to settle in as Bonwick with somewhat of an ironclad grip on the race lead going into that corner in the Ironfarmers car, but it didn't take long for the trick trailer's entry of Stoopman to come pouncing back.
Yeah, textbook racing at this racetrack with the format that it is, with a heavy braking zone followed by a sweeping corner and then a heavy braking zone like that.
The dude!
Paul Morris, check the battle damage on the number 2 car. He has been in the thick of things, and we've got cars off at the northern hairpin. So it all happened up there pretty quickly, and cars have been left off the racetrack. Here's Gavin Porteous in the 51, buying into the battle for the race lead now.
Paul Morris in the only V8 supercar prepped HQ in the country. Look at them working their way in this very quick part of the circuit. Gee, I tell you what, it didn't take the 51 car very long. Gavin Porteous in the HQRacing.org affordable excitement entry to get up there.
No, he's worked his way up well. Local knowledge, cars dropping wheels off the racetrack. On the exit of 3, the battle for the lead continues, but it's a 4-way battle now. I think that's the 6 car back in there as well. Neil Corey, the blue entry, yep. The Heinrich Race Engines number 6 has worked his way in. Here's Porteous.
Factor,
the fact he's got Heinrich on the side.
Yes.
Yeah. Domination in saloon cars is anything to go by.
Porteous, no relation to the actor from A Country Practice?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
We'll have to ask that question. Sweeping out of this very fast right-hander, we've got a gaggle of the top 4. Look at this once again. Looking for the inside line is Bonwick. This Heinrich car has closed up very quickly indeed, Corey. Poor old Buckle sitting there watching from the dirt.
Yeah, well, he won't have the best seat in the house for this race, but that's the way HQ racing goes sometimes. But Gary Bonwick's still on screen though, and a couple of car lengths back. He's falling back into the pack now in this battle for 3rd place. Up the inside goes Corey. He gets himself to 3rd. Porteous relegated to 4th place.
They're very quick, really, for what they are, aren't they? They get around very nicely indeed, considering we're not talking about, you know, big racing modifications and things. These cars are certainly competitive and well priced for what they do, and hence the massive fields that they get at their racing.
And by the end of these races at Mallala Raceway, they generally get a little bit soft, these cars, because, let's be honest, the brakes aren't V8 supercar spec. They go pretty soft as the race works its way through. So Stoopman leads from Bonwick. Corey is 3rd. Porteous is now 4th. Nicolo 5th. Then Crouch, Bolter and Stephen White rounds out the top 8 in this very, very competitive field. The Ironfarmers HQRA National Series. Final race of the weekend. And Wade, you mentioned Saturday night. They had a night race at Mallala. This is one of the few racetracks in the country now that can do it as the battle for 2nd heats up. Really exciting affair, and it was a pretty tough encounter. Over an hour under lights at Mallala Raceway.
Yes, Martin Agaton, who does the PR for this, out of Tasmania, as a matter of fact, the Media Link side of things, keeping us abreast of what's been going on with this championship, and very, very competitive stuff. They work their way down to this very tight right-hander. Corey, he's committed to it now.
Oh, he came in hot, didn't he? He was on the brakes as hard as he could. Runs a little wide on the exit of the corner. Yeah, absolutely well. And managed to get the position, so he moves to 2nd place now. The local driver is charging forward. Gary Bonwick relegated to 3rd.
Oh, it was a big weave, wasn't
it? Absolutely right.
I'm coming. Look out. The bright blue blur up the inside. And Bonwick, a pretty smart cookie. You know that there was no need to try and contest the corner. He was trying the late switchback, but it never eventuated. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're into the last lap here, Krause, and this has turned out to be a dogfight.
They get told in driver's briefing, don't use the concrete apron on the exit of turn 2, and the HQ drivers just go, what? Hey, what auto apron? We don't see it. So they run out of 2.
Aprons in our category.
This is the battle for 2nd, and actually it's not, it's the battle for the lead. Corey has ranged up behind our race leader, Kevin Stoopman.
Massive comeback from Corey. They've dropped away Bonwick enormously here. Don't know if there might be an issue there, but Stoopman under enormous pressure. Corey's going to try for the big desperado move here. Won't come off. Look out. Now there's a car away.
Yeah. He needs to be good out of here. He needs to position the car well to get a run into the turn 7 hairpin through the S's and onto the straight. You can pass it at this racetrack. It's one of the best things about it, as well as in these cars as well.
Here we go. Corey sets him up. Can he get a run up the inside? Stupo locks up the brakes. We're about to do a price check on a rear indicator light on a HQ, I think. Stupo, can he hold on? Oh, he's going to do it. Corey's going to wear him like a glove, but Stoopman checking the mirrors all the way. Well, hold on. What a good race.
Fantastic dice. Gee, they left the rest of the field for dead too, didn't they? Gary Bonwick will come across the line in 3rd, but a great race, the Ironfarmers HQRA National Series. Dan Nicolo was 4th, Bolter was 5th ahead of White, Crouch, and Bart Stanfield completed the top 8.
I've had a fantastic weekend. Look, we come up here not expecting to do so well. The South Australians up here on the home track are usually unbeatable, so this is a really, really big thank you to all my sponsors who have worked so hard all weekend to get us here. A big thank you to my panel sponsor, High Gloss Panels, who's got a whole lot of work to do when I get home before next round. But yeah, it was fantastic. Really good fun.
Oh, I'm very happy because I started 11th on the grid and I thought Stoopman and Bromwick would get away, but they were dicing so much they slowed each other up and managed to catch up and got to 2nd, and that's great. I'm really happy.
Just making a few places up. I was up to about 4th on the 2nd lap, I think it was, and got a little tag on the corner, so dropped back a few. And we were just trying our hardest to get back up near the front end again, and just out-braking myself. I think I was just going past Paul Morris and got a bit excited and just locked up and just didn't get around the corner. But anyway, that's motor racing.
Let's take a look at your points. It's very interesting. Gary Bonwick has a 14-point lead over Stoopman. White, Morris and Corey the next best through from Stanfield, Bolter and Buckle.